That was good.
Nah, dog, I ain't finna cry.
That
shit's tough though.
So here we are now. So today we're now in the aftermath of the untimely murder.
Untimely.
Yeah, for sure. Of George Floyd. As everyone knows by now, he was murdered by a police officer. He was.
I won't say 8. Let's say 4.
Multiple at least. But definitely at least mainly one who crushed his spine. I think his death was ruled asphyxiation of blood to the head and neck.
By a second autopsy.
By a second autopsy,
not
yes.
the first one.
So now we're in this.
No, because like the police officers had their own, and
yeah, of course it's bullshit.
I know
for sure. So an independent coroner ruled that it was a homicide by asphyxiation, which is a loss of blood to the essential organs. So now we're here, and I just want to get you guys' reaction to where we are now. We all know it's bad, but just how you feel internally in response to everything that's happened. Anybody?
I mean, I would say it was hard to watch, but it was no different from last year for me. It's kind of like it got to the point where it's almost numb again. We're like, okay, damn, this shit looks bad. All right, well, again, this happens again. Another guy that can't breathe. It's like, so all the reaction is cool and I understand it, but I just don't have that feeling. It's like you keep seeing trauma, you keep getting the same trauma, you get used to it in a sense.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So that's where I am right now.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I realized in watching it that the shit was 9 minutes of agony. Like, it was traumatizing, and unfortunately, you kind of become numb. Like Ant said, like you become numb. You start questioning what did this guy do, as opposed to seeing him as a human being that deserves, human rights. So, the 9-minute watch to me was it was hard, man. Like, the man was crying. He's a grown ass man crying out for his mother who's dead. That shit was hard. I actually cried watching it because as a black man, I understand that at any moment you can kind of be put in that same position, and it fucked with me a lot because, this was a father, a son, a brother, to a lot of people. So it fucked with me, and it fucked with me mentally, and it kind of changed my entire aspect of my entire view on the police and the system that we live in.
I think even watching it, you get into a thing where you the outcome was gonna happen, he's gonna die, but then you start rooting for him to make it, and it's like, bro, come on, Craig, come on, Craig, get up, Craig. You know what I mean? But it just never happened. You just wish someone in the crowd were able to stop it. You like, if I was there, I would have did this. This would have been different. But in reality, this is our reality.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I felt numb. I felt numb watching it all over again. It's happening again, and I actually only saw the short version. It took me a while before I was able to watch the long version because I'm like, it's. I've already seen this before. I felt like I didn't need to watch the long clip, but then eventually I went back and took a look at it, and I'm like, man,
shit is real.
It was tough to watch.
Yeah.
They got their little lookout trying to keep people on the streets. Like, what law says you can't step into a street and record from a street?
Yeah.
They try to keep people on the sidewalk, but they didn't. I guess they didn't know there were people recording from the backside also.
Yeah, and that's what really shocked me. When I saw the backside.
The 3 days later.
Yeah, where there were 4 cops on the other half of his body, just kneeling on him. For what reason?
Yeah. And what struck me when I was watching it is, I saw the same reaction. I saw the same video that we all saw, had the same reaction. But then another cop, I heard her speaking, a former Minnesota cop. She put it in context. She was a former police chief. She was like, what was so surprising to her was that there was no adrenaline rush for him. It wasn't something that was surprising. I think she said that he had his hand in his pocket.
He did.
While he was kneeling on his back.
He was so comfortable.
Yeah. Right. So he was like you look in his eyes, you see his hand in his pocket. There's no feeling of rush. You could kind of give him benefit of the doubt. Okay, he had all things going on, scared, right? But he just looked comfortable. And then the Asian man, I guess, who was the lookout, just looked comfortable. Right. This was not nothing happening right now is abnormal. Like
his routine.
Kind of, right. And then you saw the backside video of the other cops on the latter half of his body. And nobody felt they know everybody's watching. They know everybody's recording. But nobody felt shocked. Nobody felt surprised. Nobody felt.
I mean, they're used to getting
excited.
away with it. They're definitely used to. As much as we feel numb, as much as we're we're used to seeing this. They're used to getting away with it.
Yeah.
I think another big thing when I was watching was when you seen the paramedics come, and I'm like, okay, the paramedics there, something can happen.
Revive him.
They check
CPR.
his pulse and they back away and they like, oh, you can say they went to the truck like, oh shit, man, this motherfucker dead. We got to get the body and go.
So he was dead on the scene.
That's
You know,
he was dead on the scene.
I never watched the full.
I've never seen a paramedic come to the scene and not try to help someone, not try to revive
They
someone.
literally threw his ass in the goddamn car.
Right, and left just to get out of there.
They knew he was crazy. They checked his pulse. They didn't say let's
let's bag him. Nothing like
CPR. Nothing.
He felt a cold body and he walked away.
He said, "Yeah, fuck this. He's dead."
As a crowd, he had to de-escalate the situation, whatever he needed to do to get out of there.
And so the reaction has been very strong by black people for sure, but the entire media, the world even there's been protests all over the world. So I wanted to ask you a question. The reactions to George Floyd's murder, combined with Ahmaud Arbery, combined with Breonna Taylor, all who've died, or all who've been made aware of within the last maybe 2-3 weeks, do y'all feel like this reaction is the beginning of something, the middle of something, or the end of something?
Well, I felt like at first I was like, okay, here we go again.
Okay.
But this one just feels a little different though. When I think it was Saturday, Sunday, and I saw people protested in France and Japan and Iran, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then I see big corporations coming out making statements, Citigroup, Nike, all these big corporations lending their voices. I'm like, I don't remember seeing that before.
But I think a part of that is because of the celebrity of certain people like maybe LeBron James. Some of the things he stood out about before when Eric Gardner and the "No I Can't Breathe" T-shirt. So I think and that's why I kind of alluded to this before with LeBron or celebrities. They do have a obligation to speak out. I think now that you have people like LeBron James speaking out, these celebrities. Corporations have to understand and back this shit as well. They kind of understand that you got to choose a side at this point. And to watch a man die for 9 fucking minutes, like begging for his life, I think that's what resonated with a lot of people. Like it wasn't a situation where, somebody got shot. We didn't know what happened beforehand. We saw that they built a narrative about a guy saying, "Oh, he was, belligerent. He was out here unruly," and then we saw the video and saw that this guy didn't do much of anything.
Cool. Oh, this just George Floyd?
Okay. Yeah,
it was from the store's view of the camera.
The store's view of the camera showed that this guy didn't, at any point in time, resist arrest. He was
a model citizen who got pulled
pretty
over.
much, and he got arrested, and then you saw this guy beg and die for 9 minutes for his life. I think that had it not been that case, had it not had been the video, we wouldn't be here talking about this shit. But because we saw it for 9 minutes, a grown 40-something-year-old man begging for his life.
46.
No one can sit here and see this shit and not see that there's a need for change. That's just my take on it.
What about you, Tony? Do you feel like this is the beginning of something, the middle of something, the end of something, or nothing special?
I know we said it's been protesting all over the world. I feel like I've seen protesting all over the world before.
Right.
And so I feel like this is, honestly, it's gained more prevalence around the world, or even like how you say celebrities are now okay with speaking out because they have big corporations behind them and they're able to speak out, which is a good thing because now they don't feel like they're gonna get their the endorsements taken away or they're gonna be looked at a certain type of way. But I don't feel like this is any different from last year.
Really? From last year? What was last year? Oh, just
let's say even Trayvon, anything.
Okay.
Trayvon was a big thing, but now where's Trayvon now? Where's the movement for Trayvon now? It may be still out there, but it's not as prevalent as it was before. Everything dies down.
I think this one seems to be a lot larger.
Why is that?
I don't know.
What thing is different about it?
Again, it was you actually saw the video. So with Trayvon, there was no video with him being killed. So we kind of took the word of the only person who survived the incident, which was what's that cracker name?
George Zimmerman.
Yeah. So we kind of just saw, we only had his opinion, on what took place, as opposed to you saw a grown man beg for his life and die. It's completely different from a lot of stories that have been taking place before, where even with the Breonna Taylor, we didn't see the video. You get what I'm saying? We didn't know what really happened. It's different when you see a person die, on camera right in front of you. It's kind of different.
And it shouldn't actually need video.
Yeah, it
like
shouldn't.
how many people get killed by the police and there's no phone in front of them? Like it shouldn't take a video before people say, okay, we need to change what's going on.
Right.
But it's hard to relate when you don't have a video.
Well, you know,
I feel like this is not the first time we've had video though. Like
it's not.
To me, what like makes it different for me is like the 9-minute struggles. It's like you see like a loss of life, where it's like, for example, I think it was I forgot, Laquan McDonald in Chicago. So he was shot 16 times by police officers. But like for me now, I guess I'm so desensitized to it. So when I see like somebody getting shot on TV, I don't feel as much different as I would in like somebody getting shot in Call of Duty, for example. Like it almost seems the same. Had the same kind of reaction. Like I don't really feel like there's a loss of life,
right?
Because
it's a quick death.
It's a quick death. But when I see somebody like struggle, like Eric Garner in New York, when I see him get tackled to the ground, I hear him say, "I can't breathe,"
and plead for their life.
And I hear the cops. I hear the cops say, "Fuck your breath." Like you can hear the cops say it. So when I see George Floyd like losing his life, it's like, oh man,
that was a long fucking 9 minutes, dog.
And you got all the people on the streets telling the cops, hey.
And that's what makes it different, too.
He's bleeding from his nose. Hey.
Exactly. There was just no... If I would have saw the cop, reposition his body or even just kind of like move a little bit.
But he did to get a better position.
Yeah, to choke him out.
It made it even worse.
But I mean, even if he moved his knee at some point and maybe he died later on.
And check on him a little bit.
I could say maybe, he did have some type of remorse. He was trying to see if he was okay. But it was kind of like a very deliberate, action that was made in order to choke the man out.
Right.
And fuck that dude.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like the majority of the country, mainly white people who are the majority, they saw that too. And this time there's not a lot of things you can really say about it. Like, oh, well, he was being...
Yeah, he was resisting arrest.
Or
he was being belligerent.
Something.
Or he was doing... The officer was doing what he was taught to do.
Right.
Because now we see the discretion that he had to not do it. He could have not done that.
I think that's the big...
Because if you're already handcuffed, easily take him in the truck and it's over.
And that was the whole point. He was already handcuffed. So what was the point? The video showed at no point was he resisting arrest.
Right.
So why not throw him in the car? And then to find out that he actually knew the guy, that they worked in the same place at the same club.
They were both security guards.
They were both security guards, and they were bouncers. So you've had a run-in with him at some point.
Now it seems premeditated.
Exactly.
Almost, you know what I mean? That's the nigga right there that I got a problem with. Let's get him.
I mean, with that, I guess you work at a nightclub. It's like, I don't really put that much weight in their connection because they work. There's plenty of people like I work with that if I see them 2 years from now, we work together. I have no idea who you are. So that I don't really. But still, he just dehumanized and made him. He turned him into nothing. So that's something I can't really like. I can't accept with that. But like we said, the reaction has been strong, right? So there's been protests worldwide, countrywide, every city, every
you gotta get out there and protest.
Locale, municipality. I guess just overall, what's your takes on the reaction, the protesting to?
For me, I think it's absolutely necessary. I have a different approach from a lot of people. I can't sit back and watch people speak for us and protest on my behalf because at the end of the day, I've never really been that person. I'm not that passive of an individual. So I actually went out there on Sunday in downtown Miami. And at first I was kind of like on the fence about it, like, man, I got a career, I got a lot of shit to lose. And then I thought about it, man, that could have very well been me. Like, I've been in a position where I've been pulled over and my hands are shaking, Even there was a situation with the college students who got put out of their car and were tased. And I'm like, that could have been me. Just being black and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I went out there and I did protest. It was a different, feeling. It was surreal. There's a very mixed crowd. A lot of white people, who are out there for whatever reason. I don't give a fuck why they're there. The thing is that we have a certain level of protection while they're there. I couldn't see the shit being so peaceful had it been all black people.
True.
But I remember being down the street, walking in the street. We walked through downtown. We ended up in Overtown. We went to Wynwood, man, and I kind of had a sense of pride that I was doing something that needed to be done. It's one thing to post about the shit on social media, but when you're out there with the people who really are like, putting their life in harm's way or in danger, it's different, man. So that was just my take on it,
I don't know. I feel like you kind of lose hope with the protesting from my standpoint.
Definitely.
So like, I can easily say like, Martin Luther King protested. I mean, yeah, well, things got better. We got a lot of things done, but we're still fighting the same fight. So has protesting been very effective? I don't know.
I think protests, we definitely came a lot since the really far since the 60s, but a friend of mine wanted me to go protest, and I don't know, I've just been kind of sitting back more, watching everything from social media, being a little bit surprised by some of the reactions, but I still feel like, okay, I know there's a big majority of white America out there who still, for them, nothing's changed. And that's the part that really discourages me. As much as the part that gives me hope is seeing all the demonstrations internationally and the corporations, but I still know there's a really large part of white America that doesn't care at all.
So you didn't protest because you know white people who still haven't changed their view?
No.
Okay.
I didn't go out to protest because of coronavirus.
Okay.
I knew people were going to be really close together, and yeah, that was the reason I didn't go.
So let me check that real quick. I was out there. Everybody had on fucking masks. So funny enough, I was the only idiot that didn't come out there with a mask, and I forgot to bring it. But when I got there, luckily enough, we were on Bayside. There was a CVS right there. I went inside and purchased a mask before I even went out there. And I kind of kept my distance, but for the most part, I was good.
Trump supporter.
Shout out CVS. You hear me?
But yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a reason to, but hey.
What was yours? You said that we've been protesting for some time.
I don't know how effective protesting is.
Okay.
And I have protested before, and I feel like I'm still having the same fight. Like that's like being in a relationship and you're still fighting over the same thing the same way.
Okay.
But protesting, it's not protest alone that will bring change.
Understood.
It's protesting combined with voting, and voting not only when it's time to vote for president. A lot of the change needs to happen on the state and local levels. There's only people really need to understand where how the system works. You know, we have a federal state system of government. The federal government doesn't control everything. The federal government doesn't control policing.
Right.
Policing is for state and local government. So people need to just try to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on a local level and vote in these local elections. You have 80% of the prosecutors in the country are white men. Like, because who's voting for them? The people who are paying attention, those are the ones who keep voting for these guys.
So what do you say about people who say that, you know, we're not the majority. So if 80% of the prosecutors are, you know, white men, you got to understand that we make 13% of the fucking of the people. I
mean, I think even in your neighborhoods, though, most likely you're not the minority in your neighborhood. You know what I mean?
It depends on where you live.
Right, but where we come from in Miami, we can probably make a change based off the way we vote, for sure. If we had more people that vote.
If we took local elections maybe more seriously, because I know personally I don't. I just vote. I don't even like voting, but I vote for like, you know, Barack Obama and shit. You know? Like, it's very ignorant to say, but I vote for like, my first time voting was for Barack, second time voting was for Barack, third time was for Hillary, and this fourth time I got Biden and Trump, so I have to pick whichever one.
If you're not black,
it's gonna be Biden. Anyway, so but yes, if we took local elections, sorry, more seriously, we'd have probably a better outcome.
Right, there'd be more black judges, there'd be more black police chiefs, everything, you know what I mean? Then it'd be like Atlanta almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish it was. Atlanta's probably a good example. Just to kind of go back to what we were saying before, like my reason for not protesting was just I feel like the protest has been like co-opted by other groups, like the extremist groups. I feel like it's almost like protesting itself. I'm for it, I'm with it, but when it's disorganized to the point of chaos, that puts me in unnecessarily like harmful situations.
I think a lot of that chaos is at night. The protest during the day is mostly peaceful. Yeah. It's once it gets to nighttime, that's when you see a lot of the crazy stuff happening.
And I also want to say something, like, you know, we've been seeing a lot of videos of white individuals sabotaging, you know, the quiet, peaceful protest.
CIA.
So, Yeah, and I've seen a lot of videos of police officers damaging their own cars. They've been, breaking a lot of businesses, and so I can't say that the protest doesn't work. I think that it, for the most part, it does bring awareness. We're talking about it now because obviously it's done its part. Most of it is peaceful.
For sure, yeah, and I don't want to frame it as it being like just chaos. Like, of course, most of it is peaceful, and then the day after, people come and clean up, what the rioters and looters, the people who've done harm, have done to businesses. So I'm totally with it, but that kind of leads me to my next point of the looting. So that's the part of the chaos that I'm trying to avoid, because there's been chaos looting during the day too. I mean, so that's the part that I have like a reaction to. So looting is something that I wish we did not do.
I disagree.
I understand. I'm not. Right, I'm sure. I wish something is we did not do. Like, I understand where it comes from, the frustration, the anger. We believe in the system. The system has failed us. We are protesting. We did this silently. You guys not hearing us. But the looting, I think, doesn't have a net benefit for us. So I think
I'm in between with the looting.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like you say, like the frustration and stuff like that, and then it leads to looting. You know what I mean? But then it's the other individuals that mask the looting from the frustration. The one that goes out there to benefit. People are there to benefit.
Right.
And that's my problem with it. So then you have to put it as a whole. Looting is bad. It's bad for sure, but I can't understand it anymore when people are targeting stores to go to.
That's exactly right. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I kind of feel, if I'm going to be honest, like I should be against the looting, but I'm kind of fine with it.
Yep.
As long as you're not looting in your own neighborhoods.
Black neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like there's so much anger out there, and nothing for a lot of people, they haven't seen progress.
Absolutely.
So I really understand that frustration, and I would prefer that they don't loot, but I'm kind of cool with it when I see them in these high-end stores. Like, I don't, when they're taking iPhones, who cares? I don't care about iPhones. Like, I like iPhones, I have one, but that's not hurting anybody. Apple's how many billions of dollars? Like, man, that type of stuff doesn't bother me too much.
And the way I look at it is like this, America has looted black Americans or black people our entire lives. You go to any fucking museum, it's filled in there with with a bunch of African artifacts. What the fuck did we did this shit to y'all, or did y'all take it? That's my mindset. Like, we've been looted our entire life. I mean, not necessarily me, but our ancestors. People, slaves were brought here and forced to work for free. A lot of what we had was stolen from us. So at this point, I mean, I can't say I disagree with the looting. I think it should be better targeted. It doesn't make sense to hurt our own people or hurt our own community, but I'm not against it. Fuck it. And I think people, with a lot of these corporations, they don't understand. They don't speak out on it because at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect them. But I think where a lot of people are now speaking out, a lot of corporations, they're kind of trying to save their own ass and save face. You got people speaking out like Nike or some shit. They don't want nobody to know their shit stolen, so they're going to speak out on it in order to prevent their shit from being attacked.
Yeah, I mean, but the Nike store I think Chicago got looted. Like, Nike stores all over the place get looted. And the problem that I have with the looting is that it undermines the message to me because it's like, you're looting, and this is not everybody. This is just a minority of people. But okay, you're saying like they looted because we've been looted, so let's loot back, or so like we have no respect for this system. But to me, when you're looting, like, the mentality of it is you're still buying into this Eurocentric lifestyle anyway.
That's
so
right.
You're buying, you loot the Gucci store because you're thinking about, I'm gonna get these nice sneakers, this nice bag, so I could wear to iguanas, so I can stunt in them holes because them holes ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just doing this to stunt. Like, I have this much, I'm getting Nikes. You're not getting like essentials. Now, if you're looting Publix,
right, it doesn't make your life better by what you're looting.
You're just looting to loot. I'm gonna go
to flex.
To flex, yeah. Like, I saw somebody stole a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't mad at that nigga.
They stole a Mercedes, like, and a Honda as well. Oh, Honda, well, that's economical. That makes sense.
But no, like,
30 miles a gallon.
Still in a car, you're not gonna go far.
Right? Yeah, you're not gonna go far. Yeah, still an iPhone. I put the picture in the group chat how, like, as soon as you turn it on, it was like, this phone belongs to Walnut Creek Apple Store. Please return it. You know what I mean? So that doesn't help. So that's something that you said about corporations and well-known entities speaking out on it. Here we are now. Like on the previous episode, we were saying that we want our Michael Jordans and we want our LeBron James to speak out, and we learned, boy, you got a mixed bag when it comes to stuff like that, man.
Yeah,
but I think people need to be careful because we're setting ourselves up for disappointment if we think just because LeBron James and Tiger Woods and all these people are speaking out that this won't happen again. It's gonna happen again, but people need to know that we have to do our parts too. If we're just waiting for LeBron and MJ and everybody else to speak out, but we're not willing to go pay attention to what's happening on a local level, then we're part of the problem.
Okay.
Because this system is set up that all the power isn't with the federal government. We can't just put it on Obama and put it on MJ and big voices. We have to pay attention to what's happening on the local level. We have to pay attention to local elections.
For sure.
We have to know who our police chiefs are and a lot of the. It's a complicated system. It's not so simple as just let's get LeBron and some big names to say something and then everything is solved. If people put their hope on that, they're going to be disappointed because that's not the way things work.
Right.
but see, I also think that it's not just on voting too. I think at this point, we've been talking about voting for over 100 fucking years,
And not everybody votes. A lot of people don't vote.
A lot of people can't vote, so we got to take that into consideration as well. If we're going to be real about it, shit. I don't think that all these people voted for fucking Trump to be in office, but that cracker's still in office. So, I mean, at some point, I think things can get tampered with. I think, listen, if we're being honest, man, a lot of this shit I think is, preordained.
Hey, conspiracy theory. Here we go.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get into all that. But, I mean, we just know that there were things put into action. There were plans put into action that allowed, Trump to be our president right now, or y'all president. But
The electoral college? What do you mean?
No, we know that that shit was tampered with, man. We're not even gonna have that conversation just now.
Right.
Okay.
What do you think, Tony, about large entities, businesses, celebrities speaking for or some in between?
I mean, to bring awareness to the situation, you always need like a face.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Getting people that everyone agrees with, everyone loves to say something about it does a lot. It does a lot for the people. It's like you feel like they're rooting for you. You know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, we're together. But in reality, I mean, I'm kind of on both sides again. Like, I understand what LeBron can bring with companies, and he shows other celebrities, hey, you can speak up. And with those, you see a lot of people are giving money. Even Christy Teigen, she gave $200,000 for, I guess, the bailout fund or whatever. Yeah. So that's what happens when people who are celebrities come together and speak on things. They can make things happen. But like how Paul said, nothing will change
from them.
Besides helping them get out of jail, helping people get out of jail. But like, what about next week? Will this stop because of that? No. So I mean, but I do agree. We have to vote.
Oh, you have to vote. Yeah,
that's the only solution I see.
Yeah,
you see in Atlanta, those two
officers?
Those two black kids that were in the car, the college students who were harassed. They're charging six officers in that incident.
Yeah.
So if we vote and we put the right people in place, when cops abuse their authority, prosecutors will go after them.
Right.
But when we don't vote and we're sitting in this country with over 80% of the prosecutors are white men, we're not like that excludes so many people. We're not even talking about women. We're not talking about black women. We're not talking about black men, Asians, Latinos.
Just
white men,
right.
Most of them.
Right.
And they're covering for their friends who are the cops that are doing bad stuff.
You're right.
So people have to know we have a voice, we have a vote. You got to use it, and put the people who you want in more of these different positions.
And then I think they transferred the case over to a black AD or something like that.
Yeah, there was another local. Yeah,
George Floyd. Okay.
And
they had to.
In Minneapolis, there was a white man. One of the 80% of prosecutors are white men. So the local prosecutor was a white man. They transferred it to the state attorney general, who's a black man.
Who's a black man. Which speaks to the value of voting, because are those appointed or are they voted in?
Well, you got to look at each state. Each state could be different.
Okay. But I'm with
definitely vote and get your guy in a sense.
In a sense, yeah. The value of voting. I mean, I'm in between. Like, the problem that I have is like I just want my favorite celebrity or brand to say the thing I want to hear. Like I don't want to hear the all sides argument. You know what I mean? Like okay, for example, I was telling y'all earlier about like the Dream. The Dream was like, look, all y'all Atlanta people don't be writing my businesses. Like I built this for my kids. Like it's hard to get a loan because we black. It's hard to get insurance claims verified. It's hard to get build your business back up. Like I could get the building back, but I can't get the furniture, the infrastructure, the wiring, the electrical. I can't get that back. So if y'all loot my building, X, Y, and Z. So
right.
I'm thinking
You're destroying another black man. Is what I'm saying.
I'm thinking like, damn, Dream, bro, this is not the time to hear that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
And I can't so now when I listen to Falsetto, I'm like, damn, this nigga sings great music, but he's against, he's just all about the business. So that's what I was thinking. Like
I'd rather hear him say like, I'm rooting for you guys. Like this is social injustice.
Exactly.
You talking about your business? I feel you, but you put the I before the team.
Not the time.
No, I feel he's absolutely correct. I feel he's 100% correct. Like, I mean, he worked hard to put that business together.
Sure.
I'm sure nobody gave it to him. He's not Trump with a dad that gives him $30 million to get started. He probably worked his way up and built something and he's looking forward to giving it to his kids. I don't see a problem with him saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you or him. He's right.
Yeah.
But today,
that's not today's not a day.
Today,
yes, because if he doesn't say something today, tomorrow it might be gone. He has to say something today.
I would go get that shit because he said.
Because you said it.
No.
I don't even know the name of your business or
I will
whatever
find
it is.
out. I'm gonna wear the shoes you have in your showroom.
It's the timing. The timing is the
No, I think the timing. There's nothing wrong with the timing.
I think he failed to relate to the black people and the oppressed people.
Right.
I'm sure he's on the side of the protesters.
Nah, he
don't
can't be. He just sounds like he's on the side of his damn self. The way I see this riot is the language of the oppressed. You have to, at some point, we've tried all the peaceful, measures and tactics to kind of get shit done. At this point, it is what it is. And the crazy thing about it is, it's still not even our people who are out here doing the crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's not us. It's still white people.
It's still there. Yeah, for sure.
Well, shout out to the white people because they are with us side by side.
For sure.
Not all of them, though.
Well, a lot. Well, I mean, a lot are out there.
But like you said at the protest,
there was a lot of us.
It was a mixed bag. And you said what I thought was interesting. You said you were happy that they were there because they offered a sense of protection.
Absolutely.
So I think that's big. Like we do have to shout out white people, non-persons of color for being there.
So then that kind of, on another instance, that shows white privilege at the same time.
Yes, it does. I agree with that.
And I think this morning Rush Limbaugh was on the Breakfast Club. And he said there is no such thing as white privilege or white supremacy, which is crazy to me.
But he wouldn't be able to see it from our vantage point. You got to understand that this is a white guy born with white privilege.
Conservative.
A lot of them don't understand what it is to be pulled over and not know if you're going to survive the entire encounter. So we got to always remember that. I heard that bullshit shit he was talking about this morning on the Breakfast Club, man, and I was just like, man, fuck.
Yeah.
I think he was a little confused though. My definition of white privilege is it's not that you don't go through hard things, you know what I mean, in life. It's that you don't go through hard things because of the color of your skin.
Yes,
absolutely.
They don't understand that part. They think, I get pulled over all the time.
Right.
That's not what we're saying,
but
bro.
you survived the encounter.
I've seen statistics police. The highest actual police brutality rates is larger for whites. Therefore, whites go through police killing brutality too. You just don't hear about it. It's like, no, because you're doing it in aggregate, so it's more white people. Obviously, there's gonna be more white, police brutality killings, but it's only 13% of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was reading earlier today, in Ferguson, anytime after the Ferguson riots or whatever, the Department of Justice investigated. They was anytime the police force used a dog was on black people. Every single time they used a dog to help the situation or whatever calm the situation was on an African American. That's an example of white privilege right there. You arrested differently. Sure. You're prosecuted differently. You're detained differently. Your situations are reduced differently. I mean, imagine every time you come out, here on the dogs. Here come the dogs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
K9 unit.
Here come the dogs. I'm black. Here come the dogs. And that in itself is like you said, like white privilege is not that you're not gonna go through hard stuff. You're a human being,
Right.
obviously.
I think we've all been pulled over and taken out of taken out of our car and put in handcuffs or put to the side.
Had guns
You know what I mean?
pointed at you.
Right. At some point
Shit.
in our lives, like,
Yeah.
and that should never happen for just getting a speeding ticket. You know what I mean?
And,
For
and-
sure.
Or traffic light signal, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
And we've all had times too where the cop let you go. Too.
Right.
It's like we're not just saying we just all struggle. There's times when you had for me, I had an expired license and expired decal. I was driving dirty. And the cop was like, "Oh, it's your birthday. Have a happy birthday. Stop playing out here." The cop was black, so I don't know if that's the same.
Nah, that's your
Of
nigga.
course
That's your nigga.
Yeah,
Let's see, but
nigga.
better believe if he had a white partner,
Yeah,
he'd been in handcuffs. You'd
Well,
been in jail.
I've done. I had a sports car. I've done my fair share of speeding around town. So, but I have my Army license plate. So every time I got pulled over, they were like, "Is that real?" I'm like, "Yeah, here's my military ID."
Oh, yeah, that's black privilege.
And no, that's military privilege.
Military
not
privilege.
military, not black privilege.
Which
like,
and speaks to that point. It's like there's privileges that exist. There's black
Right.
privilege. Like they see us as like culture, entertainment, like
Right.
confidence, and maybe that's what
I
they
wouldn't
take.
call that shit privilege though.
I mean, I think it's a privilege to be black. I wouldn't want to be anything else.
I wouldn't either. But
Correct.
what's the benefit
What?
of it?
Culture?
Nigga.
No, no. What's the benefit of us being black
That's what I want to know.
in
like,
America? I don't know the benefit of that.
There's plenty benefits to me. It's just like I just feel like if you just take away capitalism away from like the equation, what else? There's nothing else but blackness to me. If you take away money, just whatever argument you want to bring, take money out of it.
Then we would be the hierarchy race.
We are driving the world. We're making the world revolve without
Absolutely, but
without money.
They're not trying to accept that though.
Yeah,
And that's where the problem is.
I think
think that's what makes them so scary. You know, like they see us and they're like, "Well, shit, here's this guy, black guy." And I saw a video on Instagram today. The lady was saying, "You guys are only out here abusing us and killing us because we out here fucking y'all wives."
Oh,
Like,
man, damn.
that shit was crazy. It's the only laugh I had in maybe like 5 days, honestly. Like,
Yeah, that's
she said,
funny.
"You guys with your small 3-inch dicks, y'all mad because these black men are out here fucking your wives."
A black lady said that?
Yeah, black lady said that shit. It was hilarious and more power to her because I didn't laugh in fucking 5 days, honestly, man.
Yeah,
I've kind of been in a state of, I won't say depression, but just like shock, man. I don't even know what's coming next. You know, with the president and the bullshit he's trying to do now. You know, with the martial law. What y'all think about that bullshit?
Or martial law?
Yeah, and the way he's implementing it.
I don't know too much about that and
Mm-hmm.
him and martial law. I just know what other things he's been doing and saying around the world. You know what I mean? And
Any input on that, Paul?
well, I don't. He actually. I don't think he has the legal authority to. He says a lot of stuff that he doesn't actually have legal authority to do. So this is another example. I don't think he has the authority to just send the army into these different states without the governor's permission. But we've also seen Trump do things that he didn't have the legal authority to do, and then the Republicans in Congress are going to be silent. Democrats are going to protest. So it still works in his favor because his people, his Trump people, they're going to see, oh, the Democrats are just against me just because they want to be against me. They're not, to them, they don't see him as doing anything wrong because Republicans are always going to be silent when he does something wrong.
Right.
So
I mean, but I can't lie. I've seen video of military riding down streets shooting fucking rubber bullets and bullets at people. You know,
I mean,
I've seen a lot of
the National Guard is the military.
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
essentially.
right?
So
Yeah,
and they've been
so-
deployed already. So
Right.
Well, is that state by state or is that I guess national? I guess, or each state has their own
they have
national
their own
guard.
national
each state
guard.
has
Yeah.
each state has a
Got you.
National Guard.
Got you.
They're the ones that protect us on our land.
Okay.
and they've
Yes.
been deployed already.
Right.
You know, so
Which I mean, yeah, because the rioting may have been taken out of place. They're not in every state. I think it's only in 23.
and if that's a lot. That's half the fucking country.
That's about half. Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, but niggas been looting. Nigga. Like we gotta protect.
But see, it's not even just us too. You got to remember,
Oh, yeah, not
half
niggas.
of these people are
Niggas, I
not-
mean everybody.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's an agenda behind, you know, a lot of what's going on right now.
I think you brought up a good point earlier about like how you feel. Like we're all black males here, and we've been witnessing. Like to me, it started with the death of Kobe. Like this has nothing to do with anything really, but it's just like Kobe is a black man like myself,
Right.
and he died. And then Ahmaud Arbery died.
It's a depression.
And then it's like, and George
domino
Floyd died.
effect.
Yeah, it's just like black men just died. Now Kobe's thing is, I know it seems separate, but it's just because he was like, a hero to
he's
all
a major
of us
loss
growing up. Yeah. So we're still dealing with that. We're still dealing with coronavirus affecting blacks.
Right. Disproportionately.
Well, for sure.
Right.
So it's like, how are y'all dealing with this as black males?
I'm traumatized, if I'm being honest. Like, I think I've become numb to everything. At this point, I've already set money aside for my daughter. It is what it is, man. Like, I don't even know the next move
You're taking
anymore.
it there.
Yeah, I'm not going out.
I mean, I've become numb to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't. If you make it out of this shit, there's still so many other fucking things you got to worry about, man. From heart disease and diabetes and HIV. It's a lot of other shit that you got to worry about as a black person that the average white man is not thinking about. You know, and then to add Corona to the mix now too. Come on, the fuck out of here, man. And then we got targets on our back, because it's a lot of angry cops out there, man. And they're treating us so differently now. I've seen a lot of angry cops out here beating people's asses. So for me, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is, man. I've made my arrangements, man. God forbid, but it is what it is.
I think I take it the same way exactly how you said it. Like, you just add it to the list of things that a black person can die from more than a white person. So like you said, the heart disease, the diabetes, and all that. So you just add Corona to it. You just add the police to it. So now we just have a list of things just to survive from. Just keep tagging it on.
Have you felt like, before you come in, Paul, have you felt like it's affected your mental health at all? Like these, and like George Floyd being the last.
I think I want to have these conversations with my white friends or my white coworkers more than, you know what I mean?
Oh, more. Okay.
I think more because I want to see the way they take it, the way they react. Because I think that's where the real change will be with the majority. When they change, then there will be change.
Yeah.
And I have coworkers that don't think the way I do. They're always on the opposite side, especially about these issues. So, I mean, and until I can hear them say, yeah, this is fucked up, then I will feel like shit.
Better.
Right. It'll be like shit.
Okay.
Like, this shit is real. This is not just the black man's theory. You know what I mean?
What about you, Paul?
Well, I don't know. I feel numb. Yeah. I feel like here we go again. And I just feel like nothing will change. This situation does feel different. I gotta admit, like I said, all the protests in different countries and the corporations, I haven't seen that before. But I still feel like nothing is gonna change. I need to see two things. One, people on a large scale, all the protesters need to learn to look to the local, state and local government and pay attention and vote over there. And then two, I need to see Fox News start telling the truth to their people, because I'm not like my voice, our voice it's not gonna mean anything to Fox News is the biggest #1 rated news network, and I know there's a lot of white people who, no matter what I say, no matter what you say, no matter what is shown on TV or video or whatever, they're only gonna believe whatever they hear from Fox News or Donald Trump. Yeah. So it's like there's no point even talking to them. There's no point reaching out to them. There's no point saying nothing, because until Fox News or Donald Trump tells them, it doesn't exist. Right. They live in their own reality. Yeah. So until I see Fox News start saying something, I mean, there's no. I don't think there's gonna be as much progress as I would like.
I used to freeze in hell before that shit happened.
Yeah, I know, boy. Fox News? No, sir. That's
they're not listening to us. They're not listening to anyone else.
I don't respect them, too.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Like, this motherfucker Trump stopped wearing a mask and said, like, it's not going to do anything. And people actually stopped wearing a mask.
That's right.
That's crazy.
That's right. Yeah, man. And Fox News, like he said, will just kind of be like, oh, Trump says cool? Yeah, actually, it is cool. Yeah, who cares about science? You know what I mean? Like, but Paul, I just wanted to ask you, how would you describe this situation affecting your mental state? Like you said, you were numb. Like, would anything make it better or worse? Or Tony said talking to friends, his non-person of color friends, would like at least improve his mood.
I don't know. I don't know how to describe that accurately. I'm just going through my life, and this is just something I see, and I don't really know how it's affecting me. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just trying to live my life and do the best I can.
I just think people become so accustomed to it to now where it's just a part of our life. You know, like putting on clothes every day. We know that You're gonna turn on the news and it's gonna be another black guy dead. You know, like
That's it.
it's unfortunate to think that way, but it is what it is. I mean,
I agree.
that's why I believe in taking action into our own hands, man. You know, like I might be a little different in that mindset, but at some point, man, we gotta stand up for ourselves. You know, they kill you whether you fucking non-violent or they kill you whether you violent. You know, so.
Damn much.
You know, when we were kneeling for, you know, peace, and we were kneeling, you know, Kaepernick was out there kneeling, you know, for social injustice. You know, they had a problem with that, you know. So now we out here, you know, living this shit up, and we out here, you know, tearing shit up, and now they got a problem. We're protesting loudly, and it's a problem.
It's the same response from
Same
Kaepernick,
response,
and we're getting
Shit,
the same
I might
now.
as well get my fucking emotions
Louis
out and
bag.
express myself.
Yeah.
You goddamn right.
Yeah, and I don't. That's why I really like. I don't really fault anybody for looting. Like I
Hell
personally
no.
wouldn't like it. I don't favor it, but you know, if that's how you want. If you want to smash a window, smash a police precinct window. I get it.
I
I'm all for that
actually
shit.
like the police building in Minneapolis getting burned down.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
That part I like.
Right.
Right.
That part I like.
I enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Still in Dodge cars. I see
Yeah,
niggas
still-
still in Hellcats.
yeah. See, I mean,
I can't agree with that shit, man. Because at the end of the day, you get caught with the shit. Now you got a
Another
grand theft
dude.
charge as,
Right.
as an adult.
and now you're in the
And
system.
now you're in the system,
Yeah,
so I can't agree
I
with that
agree.
bullshit. But I mean, tearing down the institution that was
Oppresses
built
you.
to oppress us, absolutely burn that shit to the ground.
Fair. And I would say for me, like I feel just like how you guys like today. Tuesday is Blackout Tuesday, so I'm scrolling my feed. If I don't see a fucking black square in your shit, nigga, unfollow.
Absolutely.
Unfollow. Like block.
100%.
Like get out of here. If I see if I don't see anything that confirms how I feel or at least tries to maybe not even feel better but not feel worse, I don't give a fuck if it's your son's birthday. I don't give a fuck what happened to
Right.
what happened to you at work. I don't care what you ate today. I don't care Throwback Thursday or Throwback, just like, oh, last year this time we was in, Jamaica. Like I don't
Taco
give a fuck. Yeah, Taco
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Fuck all of it.
I don't give a fuck. I want to see a
Absolutely.
black square on your
Absolutely.
Instagram. That's it. Like anything else is gonna trigger me. Cause right now, like we all feel like we're numb. So I guess just lastly, just to like, how do we improve our moves? And then, I guess first, let's talk about our moves. What are you guys doing to take care of yourselves in this time? Like, I'll start. Like, someone called me today, like, yo, Mike, how are you, man? I was like, yo, man, that felt good. Like, we was doing wellness checks with each other. Like, I'm good,
Oh, that's
man.
cool.
He was in New York. Guy, or not just cousin guys. He was in New York. Like, yo, I'm good, man. How you doing? Boom, boom, boom. Chopping up 30, 20 minutes. And that felt good. And like doing this right now feels good to me too. This is like another wellness check. Like I'm checking in with y'all boys. How y'all feeling? How we all feeling? Y'all checking in with me. And I think that's a big thing for me. Like that's why I was really excited to do today's episode because this is something like I can confirm. I can bounce my feelings off of you, and you can kind of like, mitigate them for me.
I mean, I
So
think that's exactly what makes people feel better. Just having those conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just getting your thoughts out and not having it bottled up.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're not crazy. You're not the only one that thinks this way. And like I said, like me is me speaking to people who I don't think will feel this way. And if they do, it gives me confirmation that it feels good. Like I feel good about you thinking like me, and you're
Yeah.
not like me.
Yeah.
And that's
So
what
for
it is.
me, I don't know that I get any type of.
Self-care. How are you self-caring? How are you?
I went to the gun range.
Okay.
I fired some shots, a lot of shots actually. I was out there for 4 hours. Maybe for me, I'm just preparing for something. I mean, maybe I think something bigger is coming along, and I think this is the start of. To answer your question you asked earlier, this is the start of something for me.
Okay.
I think that there's going to be a lot more coming on, happening in the near future. So, I mean, I went to the gun range. I shot off some shots. I can't say it made me feel better, but I felt better. Equipped. For whatever may come. In the foreseeable future. But I don't know that I've received or I've gotten the mental health aspect dealt with. I don't know that I'm dealing with this shit appropriately. I can't say I am. I'm hurt. I feel fucked up. Wish I had a girlfriend to cry to, but if I'm being honest, man, this shit, I'm numb out here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel.
I'm definitely numb.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really posted anything on social media. I haven't posted anything in, I don't know, years.
Yeah.
I've been numb since Trump became president.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just going through my daily routine, trying to do my work, and
How you trying to care for your mental, like self-care? What are you doing to make sure you don't go up the edge or do anything, or just
I
to
don't
feel better?
I don't actively think about it. I just
Okay.
go through my daily routine, and my daily routine, it does include exercise. I ride my bike, I work out, so maybe that helps. But it's not something that I actively think about. How am I taking care of my mental side? I just go through my daily routine and try to take care of what I need to take care of.
Yeah, man.
So I got a question for y'all. How do y'all feel about social media and how everything is being portrayed through Instagram and Twitter? What is your idea, your mindset on, I guess, what's being portrayed to us as far as in the media?
So you're including social media, like
Yeah, social media,
social
absolutely.
That's probably the most relevant media.
I like what I'm seeing. I like that when I wake up, and I like the first thing I did when I woke up, I went on Instagram and I'm like, okay, look at these videos.
Right.
I saw some people decided to drive over cops in cars. I saw some people shooting at cops, and in another city there was actually gunfire. That's why it's peaceful at night, but once the lights go out, it's crazy out there. So I saw some people shooting at the cops, and I shared a video with a friend. I'm like, see, I told you this was about to happen. And he's like, yeah, it was a white friend. I told him, I'm telling him, like, people gonna fight back.
So I think social media they have a way to feed the beast in the sense that if I believe like the looters are bad, I'm gonna continue to watch videos that show me people looting, and I'm not gonna like it, and I'm gonna get upset, and I'm gonna be speaking about it. Or I can see things about social injustice that I don't like, and it's gonna make me angry again, angry. So
Right.
that's the only thing. You got to be careful what you watch and how much you
Absolutely.
consume. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's exactly where I am. I think it's like it's just too much information
Right.
for me. It's like
The process.
yeah. So I have this. Denzel Washington has this quote where it's like, if you don't read the newspaper or if you don't follow social media, you're uninformed. But if you do follow it or you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. So you have I don't know if what I'm reading or if what I'm
Factual.
seeing is true. I don't know what is true or not anymore. It's
But see-
just too much information. Like, for example, when you said that cops were breaking windows and cops were leaving bricks in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like, I see these videos, but I just don't know what these videos mean. Like, is that true? Is that not true? Did that just happen that one time? Is this a widespread
Nah, so-
thing?
So
You see
for me,
what I'm saying?
I've seen several videos of this happening.
Right, but I don't know what each one
Means?
individually or collectively means.
Are you a conspiracy theorist now? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
is it? Like,
is this like coronavirus, 5G? Is this, you know what I mean? I don't know what anything means anymore.
So I think the question is there a ploy behind all of which was what is going on right now, and that's what really I think I looked into. There's I've seen a lot of videos of cops breaking the shit,
Right.
leaving bricks, white kids in black neighborhoods just walking out of nowhere and picking up bricks and throwing them shits in trash and shit. And again, I think is it safe to say that we believe that there's something happening or brewing up in behind the scenes? I agree, there is.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Can't tell, man. I just can't.
I don't think you need to like look to social media for all the answers to solve all these questions. You just look at it and say, why don't you just take it as an anecdote? This is one thing that happened at this location at that point in time. This happened.
Because when it
You
comes
don't need
together
to-
collectively, it's like,
Well-
how can you deny it?
You don't need to say, okay, this is representative of something larger. You could say, okay, this did happen. That people were protesting at this location. This kid got hit by the cops. Like, you could just say these things happened.
Right, and I'm with you. Like, so when I see like what I'm saying, like the brick thing, for example, or the cops, harassing women and men, and retaliate against them. I know those things happen, but I just don't, because social media is faster than the news.
Yeah, it
so
is.
I learn about news. There's a lot of news that's on the social media. You learn about Trayvon Martin happened on social media. Michael
Yeah.
Brown happened on social media months before
It hit the news.
it hit the news. So like there's write-ups on op-eds about situations that happen only on the internet, only on Twitter, only on Facebook and Instagram. So Philando Castile happened on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
He was killed on Facebook. So it's like, it's difficult, man. This whole situation is just, it's difficult.
And I think what it is you can't really hide what's happening on social media as much
Yeah.
as you can hide it on the news. They go ahead, they edit things You know, they have a whole production team that spills a narrative,
Yeah.
you know, into the community. Whereas with, you know, what you see on social media is pretty much unedited. It's raw. It's uncut.
But I mean, don't be fooled too. Some
It's
of it
also
could be-
biased,
some
for
of
sure.
it's
In some
biased.
sense, yeah. But you know, I mean, you can't, you know, you can't justify a cop shooting a guy in a black. In his back
In
while
his
he's
back,
running
yeah.
away. You know,
Yes.
like certain things you just can't justify.
For sure.
But I think
sure.
newspapers are important also. Like just,
I agree.
just because someone's editing it, that doesn't mean it's wrong. I want edited information. I don't want to go to some random website out there to try to learn about what's going on, because I want something with a newspaper with reputation that's been around for decades,
With sources.
that has a name, that has a
Fox
reputation.
News has been around for decades and decades and decades, and they spill a lot of bullshit.
What's false news?
Fox.
Oh,
News.
Fox.
Fox News.
Fox. They've
Fair.
been around since the '90s. They're not as
That's 30 fucking
established
years.
as there's new, and they're not. I don't even know. They're a channel, a news network. I don't know if they have a newspaper.
You want someone credible.
But there's newspapers that have been around for decades, way
sure.
longer than Fox News.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know.
I mean, and that's that. I just think, just in general, just all of us here just need to, you know, protect ourselves. The three of you here, I love you guys. I know that's crazy. I
Be
know.
safe.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's
I want
crazy.
you guys to
Honestly,
be
man.
safe, though. I do love you guys. I don't want nothing to happen to you. Like, if you have, I just feel like this. All of us here are not under attack. I don't want to over dramatize it, but we just have to be careful out here, man.
So I got a question
tough.
for you guys
Okay.
just before we take off. What is it that you feel we need to do as a whole, you know, in order to come out of this, you know, positively?
Well, I would just definitely say,
Vote for sure. I know.
yeah, vote and organize. Pay more attention to what's going on in the state and local level, and then go vote.
Yeah.
I mean, that's collectively vote. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree to that. Like, at first I was probably like maybe resistant, but voting is
The only
it's the
thing,
biggest.
really.
Yeah, man.
You seen like some celebrities like Dwayne Wade and I think Will Smith. I've seen some celebrities posting stuff on Instagram that's saying, "Hey, these states, you guys have elections coming up in
Yeah,
June.
I saw that.
These states, you have elections coming up in July," because they want people to pay attention to the local stuff, not just the federal.
Presidency.
Because a lot of the change that needs
Comes
to
at the
happen on
local level.
local levels.
That's
And that's
I
the
agree.
crazy part. We always looked at Obama to make change, but it's almost impossible for him to change
him individually.
me in Carroll City to change me. You know what I mean? My
Right.
situation.
I get
It's
it.
almost impossible.
I get it.
sure.
When you have elected officials who are supposed to change, he put them in. They're in place to take care of that,
Yeah.
but we overlook that.
I think too, like, just as men, like, men just gotta be like, yo, like I just said, I made it really weird in here when I said I love you guys, but we just have to. You don't gotta say that. That's a little bit all right, far. But like, just like have love for your fellow,
Absolutely.
you know, brothers and sisters, black or white. I'm talking about blacks now, but like, just have love for them. Like, take it down. All you and the boy, all y'all boys go to brunch together. Wear matching shirts if you got to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wear matching shirts.
Not here.
but
Just take care of each
just
other.
take care of each other, man. Like that's it. Like we doing with George Floyd.
So love one another.
Yeah.
Be like that.
Well, I love y'all boys. Stay safe out here.
For sure.
Stay alive. You know, and take care of your families.
Yeah, man.